Hey everyone, here's another example for the leader-lagger lesson. This time we're gonna look at a 4-hour, 1-hour trade, and I've already selected and put some lines. We're gonna look at the Swiss franc group. I already put the most recent breach. Now on this time frame we're gonna look at the time when the pullback starts. We'll find that for each of these pairs, and then we will go down to the 60-minute and see how the pullback comes in for all of them. So the push roughly happens around the 8th or 9th of August here for most of them, and then around the 13th seems to reach a low. Now waiting for a pullback to come in, and there we go. That's our pullback coming in. I think on Euro, Swiss franc, yeah, seems like it. Some small swings. So pound Swiss franc, no pullback, no pullback. What's the date now? Here we are on the 17th. Here we are on the 14th. Okay, no pullback. Pullback maybe. Still no pullback. Potentially pullback around the 17th. Okay. And let me peek a little bit further if it's going to hold, because for neither I'm really convinced. So going to the 20th here. Okay, definitely more convincing now. Okay. Yeah. Then USD Swiss franc is in a range, so this one doesn't actually have that pop around the 9th of August. It's just this, and then price comes right back and stays within their range, and it's a big mess basically. But I will move on to the 20th of August as well on this one. So we follow along, we hop along on this, and nothing is really happening here. And then it pops out later on. So this one, I think we can safely discard it for now. It's not synced at all with the rest of the group. So let's make this one black. Background black. Okay. And CAD Swiss, this one around the 9th, that would be this, and then price keeps on going lower and lower and lower, and then pullback does indeed come in much more aggressive than the other two. Note that. Much more enticement of buyers here. Looking quite nice. 17th of August. Okay, 20th of August. Let's leave it at that on this time frame for these pairs, and then we go to the second row here, Aussie Swiss franc. Price pushing down, and now it's finally starting to pull back. Looking pretty good. Quite similar to Euro Swiss franc if you notice. Now we're on the 20th, and we'll leave it at that here as well. And then we go to New Zealand Swiss franc. No pullback, no pullback, pullback potentially. I think so. And we're even on the 21st. Let's move a little bit back. Pullback has come. And then finally another pair that's more or less inside a range, although it popped out here towards the bottom later on the 16th of August. Swiss franc yen, that is. It's getting a pullback, but it's a pullback that goes right back into the range, and in fact to the top of the range. So here can't really do much. And also note that this is a reversed pair, so if anything we should be looking for a buy here. And just like USD Swiss franc, this one is not correlating with the rest of the group, so let's move that one out of the visible picture for now. Okay, I'm going to pause the video now, and then I'll find the same date on the 60-minute, and we'll take it from there. Alright, I've set everything up for the 60-minute. Now let's have a look and open up these 60 minutes one by one, the 5 pairs that are left. So that was the big push we had on the 4 hours, and now we have pullback coming in, another push, just the buyers doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing their job, going higher, holding, maybe failing a bit there. Oh, it's looking like this could be a range now. Okay, so we're at 23rd of August, 3 a.m. Let's stop there. Let's go to the next one. 23rd of August, 3 a.m. Keeping that in mind. So same thing on pound Swiss franc. This was the push down, and now buyers are pulling back, but they're struggling here already. Okay, let's see if they can go higher. Okay, you seem to be going higher, but then not. Already creating a V potentially. Is that a test phase? Okay. They can't really do anything, these buyers. So 3 a.m. is around here. So let's put it back so we're looking at the exact same thing. So notice how it gets more sync again here at this point, right? So that's always good to see. But again, I've mentioned this in another video too. This is something that Naveen discusses in an upcoming lesson. In CAD Swiss franc, already had that big first swing and then a big second swing. Okay, now we're still inside that pullback phase, but sellers are definitely showing themselves already, and they in fact even go and just make it to the recent low. So what is happening here? Not sure. We haven't even reached the 23rd of August yet. Had this one had enough? Was this enough enticement of buyers for the sellers to think, okay, we got it now. We got the liquidity that we need. Let's start hitting the sells. Well, I'm not too convinced. This doesn't really look like sellers are back very strong, right? Okay. So 23rd of August, 3 o'clock, we are there. Okay. So again, that nice little V coming down more or less. Same thing here, same thing on pound Swiss franc. So we're seeing something similar there. Aussie Swiss franc. So look at that one. Pullback coming in. Buyers doing their job, holding. Not much happening here. Sellers coming back potentially. Grinding on the way down. Oh wow, these sellers are strong too. Was this enough buyers for the sells to happen? Quite surprising. 3 a.m. around here. Same little thing, but it's not so little this time. It's quite big. Okay, New Zealand Swiss franc. Looks like the pair I started with might be the big laggard pair. That's a note to myself to better prepare these videos and actually see how it plays out instead of just winging it. But yeah, for the sake of keeping it authentic, I refuse to do so. So pullback here coming in, buyers doing their job, and then sellers slowly taking over, but just like on the other ones, just grinding down. And here we are on the 23rd as well with that same similar little plop down. Although you could argue here that it just carries on and carries on. Okay, so going back to that first one, because I want to see if I did anything wrong there. It does see that this one has the weakest sellers at the moment. Okay, let's go a little bit further. Sellers trying, buyers coming back, buyers definitely coming back, sellers pushing them down again. So we can argue that that's our V formation. Now we're in a first test phase. Second test failing, third test coming, third going higher than the V, okay. Trend refresh for the buyers. Gotta wait for another V again. That V coming. There, that might be it. And then we got a test phase. And then I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to drop now, and there we go. There goes the trade. So this one only got the V around the 28th of August. And then had a little test phase. Second test couldn't even go higher, and then it dropped like a brick. So 28th of August, 9 in the morning. Let's see what the other pairs are doing at the time, because I have a feeling that most of them will have already left, if not have done an attempt to go lower. So 28th August. That's 27, 28. That's this push here. Well on their way. So looks like I indeed was looking at a big laggard pair, which is fine. I mean, when you're on the live market, you don't have to squeeze all of this information that I'm doing into 10 or 20 minutes. And you have a lot more time to go over it. Even if you're on the lower time frame, like 60-15, you still always have a dozen candles at least, if not a few dozen candles on your trading time frame. That gives you enough time to go over this correlation properly, especially if you're still preparing for the market. So this one, a little bit harder. I'm not sure if there was so much enticement here. In fact, I think there wasn't, so very hard to trade. And then CAD Swiss franc. Grinding lower, coming back, holding. 27, now we're at the 28. That's that V that we saw on the other ones. Is this going to drop afterwards as well? There we go. Nasty little test that almost goes to stop hunt. So, or actually, this was the V. The first test already went for stop hunt, and the second one almost did the same to the first one. So, not that easy to trade either, but this one definitely had more enticement, right? This pullback, that definitely drew in the buyers a lot more. But very hard to trade because it takes such a long time after that. The price just holds here. And if you manage to grab it from up here, you have to sit through all of that. Not easy. If you don't manage to grab it from up there, you have to sell it at the recent lows. Not sure if that's a good idea either, right? Okay, let's go on to the next one. Aussie Swiss. Also already at recent lows and then keeps on grinding lower, comes back. Still coming back. Very hard. Very hard. I suppose that was that little V there, and then that was the time before you could get in and before it really drops. But same thing here as on the previous pair. Very, very hard to get in. Definitely had some enticement going, but even up here, I don't think there's a really good entry there, apart from maybe up here after this V, but definitely not an easy one to trade either. So it begins to look more and more like the laggard pair, or the least leader pair. The last leader was actually the best one to grab. So that was Euro Swiss franc. New Zealand Swiss franc then. Let's see if this comes back up. Okay, this one might be a little bit easier. Where's that V on the 28th? There it is. And then a small test before the drop, and there we go. So all of these play out, which first of all I'm happy to see that, although not entirely surprised. That pullback, for many of them, there was just no holding it. It went straight back to the bottom and then it dropped further. But I think the best one to trade was definitely Euro Swiss franc, and you could have gotten in on this with all the other pairs. You look at the other pairs, you see what they are doing, and then you grab this thinking, okay, it's now. And on this one I have better risk reward because this one is still up there, whereas on the other ones around this time, around the 28th of August, where are they? They're all much further down. Yeah, we can see that from here as well, right? Much further down in the bigger picture, much further down, and the other two as well. So yeah, this is a really good example, tricky one, but a really good example of how you can use the leaders to try and grab the one that's the second or third, or in this case even the fourth leader. And it was quite easy because we could already discard the laggards from the beginning because they were not correlating at all, not even on the big boy. So that made it quite easy to follow along with this one. But yeah, again, a really good example of how you can use the first leaders to grab the second best leader, or in this case the fourth best leader even. I have to say that's rare. I haven't seen that very often before, but it does happen. Alright, Hope all of that makes sense, and I'll start looking into the videos for next week. Have a good one. Cheers.